Do you think that growing microgreens is easy? It can be, but only if you avoid the common pitfalls that tied up so many aspiring growers. Join me today as I reveal the secrets of microgreen farming and challenge myself to grow a full harvest using the tips you won't find anywhere else. I'm Connor Hebel with Amelia Island Microgreens, your go-to place for all things microgreens. Welcome to today's video. We're diving into the fascinating world of microgreen farming and uncovering the secrets that can elevate your growing game. Whether you're just starting out or looking to elevate your skills, I'm here to help you grow healthier, tastier, and more consistent microgreens every time. Let's face it, growing microgreens isn't always as simple as it seems. Poor germination, lack of flavor, or even mold are common problems that frustrate many growers. But here's the thing. Most of these issues can be fixed by mastering a few key techniques. And one of the best ways to help with this is by learning from someone who has made those mistakes before. So congratulations on being here. Today I'm sharing the top mistakes to avoid and how to create the perfect environment for your microgreens. First up, let's talk about the light. Lighting is super important. Microgreens need about 12 to 16 hours of light every day to thrive. Without enough light, your greens will be weak and leggy, not exactly what you're aiming for. And so the ideal place is just ambient light near a window. If that isn't working for you, then grow lights can work wonders. And I'll link a few in the description below. So if you want to research which lighting works best for you, you can do that. Adding grow lights is a completely optional thing. A lot of people have ambient light nearby, usually a kitchen countertop. There's usually a place to put it. Next, there's watering. Overwatering is one of the most common mistakes and can lead to mold and root rot instantly. It is the biggest challenge that growers have. So the most important thing is to keep the soil moist, but never waterlogged, and avoid splashing water on the leaves to prevent fungal diseases. This is why a 2-tier microgreen tray is so important. And what a 2-tier microgreen tray is the top tray has some holes so that the roots can grow through, and the tray underneath has no holes. It's what you're gonna pour the water into. And that is why a 2-tier microgreen tray like this is so important. Because this tray, you put your seeds, your soil all up here, the roots grow underneath, and so you just put a cup of water right down here, put this back down, and it's done. And what is really important is wait 15 minutes, come back and look underneath this tray. If you see excess water, go ahead and pour that out. That you do not want to leave in here. We're just leaving enough water so that the microgreens can get water, but we don't want to waterlog it. If you're experiencing a lot of mold and you're using a tray that does not have 2 tiers, I highly recommend checking out and looking for a tray that has 2 tiers. And if you're just starting out, don't go through the hassle of having a 1-tier tray. It is so much pain, and I would just recommend skip that part. Just go with a 2-tier tray. And let's not forget about temperature and humidity. That is, mold likes warm and humid places. So the ideal situation is to have your temperature between 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit with a more dry climate is ideal. But of course we can't change if we live in a humid area. So just indoors usually is good enough. It's usually less humid than outside, so you should be okay with this. And say you are experiencing mold, one of the best things that I've found is something that's right in your pantry. Just get out your cinnamon and sprinkle a little bit on top. I like to do this in the germination stage. When I'm mixing up my soil, I'll add in a little bit of cinnamon. This just helps reduce the risk of mold, doesn't affect your seeds, and it smells nice. So that's a great thing, just like 1/8 of a tablespoon, not a lot. And by the way, if you're ready to take your microgreen growing skills to the next level, check out my Microgreens 101 Masterclass at ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. I've been growing microgreens for 12 years, and I want to gift this to you because I know how frustrating it can be to have that tray of microgreens that you've worked so hard on end up with mold. And I want you to be able to experience the joys of growing your microgreens as quickly and effortlessly as possible. So this is a step-by-step guide packed with everything you need to grow microgreens like a pro. Don't miss out. Visit the link today. You can look for it in the description below. It's ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101. Now let's talk about the soil. The best soil for microgreens is a well-draining soil. I personally prefer coco coir because it's worked really well for me. I love watching it expand. It'll expand 8 times the size that you start with. It's really good at retaining moisture, but not causing mold. There are a lot of other grow mediums such as hemp mat, jute mat, there's even bamboo mats. There's mats that you can reuse that are made out of plastic. There's so many different kinds. And right here, this video talks about all the different types of grow mediums. A couple things on soil. So the great thing about microgreens is that the nutrition is coming from the seed itself, which means that you don't need any nutrition in your soil or your water. That means that you can get sterilized grow mediums. And why sterilized grow mediums are so important is you won't get eruptions of bugs in your house. This is why I like coco coir, is because it's a sterilized coconut husk, and so I don't have to worry about bugs or anything like that. I just get to enjoy growing my microgreens. Another cool thing, when you're growing with coco coir, it's like having a magic wand that will tell you when you're ready to start watering your microgreens again. So if you look at your coco coir puck, it's going to be a light brown color. And this is going to be when it's absolutely dry and it'll need watering. When it's a darker brown, like when you pour water on it first and it starts expanding, this is what you want. You want it to be a darker brown, but you don't want it to look like a mud pie. So just somewhere in between that is exactly where you want it. And this is a really cool thing about coco coir that I haven't seen in your jute mats or hemp mats. You're really able to see how much water is in your soil. Remember that secret tip I mentioned earlier in this video? It's coming up in a moment. So now let's talk about seeds. Seeds are super important, and I believe they're the most important part in this whole process. If you have bad quality seeds, it doesn't matter how optimal your soil and your tray is, because they may not germinate. One of the most important things with this is getting pathogen tested seeds. And why this is so important is, remember like 5 or 6 years ago, there was this big E. coli scare. And the reason is people were incubating seeds that had been tainted with E. coli and salmonella. They weren't getting pathogen tested seeds. So they were incubating in their jars that E. coli and salmonella. We don't want that, so let's get pathogen tested seeds. And as a bonus, getting organic, heirloom, non-GMO are super great. And of course, they're gonna add a lot of benefits. You just need to have the pathogen tested seeds. And the great thing about that is typically when they test for pathogens, they're also gonna check for the germination rate. And you want to have a high germination rate. So that's gonna really help, because have you ever done like everything perfect and your seed doesn't grow? It's probably that it doesn't have enough of a germination rate. And while we're on the topic of germination, when you get your microgreen kit, you have about 1 to 2 years to be growing your microgreens. The longer you wait, the less the germination rate's going to be. But as long as you keep it in a cool, dark space, the seeds are gonna last. So what's been your favorite part of this video so far? I'd love to hear in the comments any big takeaways you've had. Have you grown microgreens? If so, what kinds have you grown and what have you put them on? Do you like to eat them plain, or do you like to add them to your salads or smoothies? I read all my comments and it always is so incredible to hear what you say. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you see the next videos that are coming out, because you don't want to miss the incredible microgreen facts that I will share with you in our next videos. And here's that secret tip. Some microgreens have very specific needs on how to grow them. For example, warmer temperatures might speed up the germination for some, while others thrive in cooler conditions. Understanding these details can dramatically improve your success rate. And this is why in my microgreen kits, I make sure you get the easiest microgreens that are gonna grow in 7 days, are super hardy and easy to grow. There's not much of a challenge. You don't need to soak them or worry about putting a layer of soil over them like some microgreens. And they grow in just about any temperature. I've found that they're super hardy and just easy to grow, and I wanna make it as easy and impactful as possible. So that way, when you reorder, you can do the more challenging ones. You can start soaking your seeds or putting a layer of soil over the ones that need that, because I want to set you up for success. If you're interested in what kind of microgreens are best for beginners, check out this video right here where I talk about the easiest microgreens and also some of the healthiest microgreens. So for your sunflowers, your peas, and a few of your other microgreens, they're going to need to be soaked. And you want to soak them between 6 to 12 hours before you plant them. You don't want to over soak them, or otherwise you will risk mold. This step can dramatically improve your germination rates. By softening that seed coat, you're giving your microgreens a head start, which means they're going to be healthier and more uniform in growth. It's one of my favorite pro tips, and is one that makes a big difference. So what's the bottom line? Success with microgreens comes down to mastering the basics: light, water, soil, temperature, and timing, and then tailoring these factors to meet a need for each variety. By doing this, you can grow vibrant, nutrient-rich microgreens that elevate your meals and impress your friends and family. If you found these tips helpful, head over to ameliaislandmicrogreens.com/101 and enroll in our Microgreens 101 class. It's your ultimate guide to growing microgreens like a pro, with step-by-step instructions, insider secret, and everything you need to take your microgreen farming to the next level. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And turn on those notifications so you never miss the next deep dive into the world of microgreens. Let me know in the comments what you're growing right now and what your challenges you're facing. I'd love to help you out. And I just want to say, as a quick disclaimer, if this has made you concerned or worried about growing your microgreens, please don't fret. This is the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is you have a little bit of mold and you have to start over. Big deal. It happens to everyone, even the most advanced growers. This just means you get to try it again, and you get to try a new variety, because sometimes people are better at growing one variety than the other. And so don't let this discourage you. Most likely, if you have the right seeds, the right soil, and the right tray, you're going to be set up for success, and it's going to happen. If it doesn't, then feel free to reach out to me at connor@ameliaislandmicrogreens.com. You can send pictures over or ask me any questions, and I'd be more than happy to help you and support you in your microgreen growing. As I mentioned, I've been growing microgreens for 12 years, and so I'm happy to give that knowledge to help you grow your microgreens too. So remember, the tiniest changes can make the biggest difference, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in our next video where we'll explore advanced techniques to supercharge your microgreen growing. As always, stay awesome and happy growing!